Greetings. Just here along the Klickitat River in southern Washington, stopping off along the Klickitat Trail. We're standing here on the edge of an old bridge abutment looking at an old, presumed logging or mining site right next to the old highway here that connects you up to the town of Klickitat. And this is one of those rails to trails projects. There's a lot of places where, in order to get make our way back here, in order to get the timber or the whatever natural resources to the towns and to the people and to the factories, you needed railroads back in the day. This is a little sketchy, don't do this. And so there's railroads up and down all sorts of different rivers and canyons and places, and a lot of crazily remote areas now today. But back in the day, it was a bustling place in some areas, including along the Klickitat River. This probably was logging. There's an old mill in the town of Klickitat. This old structure here, this is on the map called Klickitat Springs. You can sort of see, gosh, that low sun. The old bridge here, some concrete abutments and such. A lot of graffiti, and there's a big flat across on the other side there. You can pull off from the highway if you choose, or you can hike on in on the Klickitat Trail, which connects you down through these beautiful areas and some natural areas here, some protected wildlife areas. We're trying to keep an eye on in these beautiful oak savannas with mixes of pine and other conifers. It's really, really pretty. And we're up amongst all the Columbia basalts and some influences from Mount Adams and Cascades volcanism, so there's an interesting sort of mix of geology going on. There's a lot of old sort of concrete things laying around, so really watch your step. See, there's nails and broken glass just about everywhere, but stuff like this here is probably like a big crane gantry tower maybe, where they had bolted on a couple of big loading cranes. See, there's some sort of an underground tank here. It's empty. There's a lot of wire and stuff that you can see trailing around, so really, really watch your step. And there's little surprises everywhere, like all these cables hanging around. Here's another little concrete sort of thing. What is it for? I don't know. Probably a building here of some kind. But this is an actually surprisingly long trail. There's no way to get across to the town of Klickitat, apparently, but from that point of the river, you can hike all the way up here through another section we've shown you called Swale Creek, and then beyond, all the way up into the town of Goldendale. And the trail apparently starts up there by their high school. And if you're intrepid, you can try and get down a lot of it in a day. There is apparently no camping or backpacking. That's rather unfortunate. It's a really beautiful place. I can't imagine anybody doing too much harm to it now after all the activity that's happened here. You'd be surprised how far out you go and yet still find evidence of human activity. It's rather unfortunate, and in some cases, where you can see another sort of a big thing there, concrete block with a big old metal stack sticking up out of it. But if you're into old, parts of old history and old structures and that sort of thing, it might be an interesting little journey to go on. You can hike it, you could bike it. I'm sure people have run big sections of it, but it's very pretty. The Klickitat River is one of my favorite rivers. It's nothing really amazing, but it's just lovely. I don't know what it is about the Klickitat. It's just a lovely, lovely little river. It's a pleasure to look at. It's a pleasure to be beside. Water's cold. It's really pretty driving along it. You come up from the Columbia River, up through the town of Klickitat, winding along. All the little communities all up and down it. It's pretty well developed, not very wild, but it's kind of one of those little trails you go, maybe we'll go see what that's all about. So today we decided to come down here and see what this section is all about. Swale Creek was not as scenic as we hoped, but I knew for sure that this would be really pretty. And being November here, not only is there low traffic on the highway on the other side of the river there, there's also no ants. And we want to thank you very much for joining us here along the Klickitat Trail, along the Klickitat River, after the ants, to enjoy these beautiful sunny skies, see some interesting older bits of history, and take in this lovely, lovely little river.